So I've been thinking a lot about the future of my YouTube channel over the last few weeks, especially after getting COVID and having a bit of time off and just really thinking about things. And today I thought I'd have a little discussion and let you know where I'm at and what my thoughts are. So there's a few things actually that I've been thinking about in relation to YouTube, and the big one is really the future of YouTube. Every day I see more and more people moving into doing motorcycle videos, and every day I see a new channel pop up that I hadn't seen before. And it's really becoming a popular place to be for women, men, guys of all ages. I see young women, I see older women, I see young men, I see older men, and everything in between. And which is fantastic. It's really good to see. But the problem I see going forward is for YouTube to keep all these new creators and creators, even like myself with smaller channels, interested, it's going to have to ensure we get views on our channel. And there's only the piece of the pie is only so big. And every time a new creator joins YouTube, YouTube has to divide that pie up a little more. So, and I can see it on my own channel. What's happening is that a couple of years ago I make a video, I may get 20,000 views or something like that, and it seems like each month that view count goes down lower and lower, because I believe YouTube is splitting up the pie into smaller and smaller pieces to ensure that every creator gets views on their videos. So this is just my prediction, but the way I see it going forward is I would expect not my views to grow. I could see my subscriber count is growing, but my views aren't. So what that's telling me is that people are still subscribing to the channel, but my videos are being shared less, if that makes sense, because YouTube has to cater for a wider range of content creators now, and each year that's only going to grow more and more and more. So each year I expect that piece of pie to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So what does that mean for me as a content creator going forward? Well, I've tried to differentiate my channel by doing something a little bit different, but what I also noticed by doing that is that I get a lot of comments with a lot of rules. You guys have a lot of rules of what you want to see in your videos. Like, I'm not allowed to, according to some viewers, I'm not allowed to talk about bikes I haven't personally ridden. I'm not allowed to talk about or quote figures that are manufacturers' figures. You don't like me quoting manufacturers' horsepower figures. You don't like me quoting manufacturers' torque figures. You don't like me quoting manufacturers' fuel efficiency figures. Some of you believe I should only quote those figures if I have tested it for myself, or that I've put on a dyno and got the actual horsepower at the rear wheel, or got the actual torque, or I've ridden the bike around for a while and have the actual fuel economy figures. Now, that's just not possible for me, and the big reason is that in Australia we don't have access to bikes, and the only way I can get that information or that data is to actually own the bike in Australia. So if that's the case, I can't talk about bikes until I actually own the bike. So the only bike I can talk about is this NC750X. Even then, I haven't put on a dyno, and I have no intention of putting it on a dyno. So what the rear wheel horsepower is, I don't know, and personally I don't really care. When it comes to horsepower figures and torque figures, personally I think it's fair to compare all the manufacturers' figures, because they're all using the same methods to measure the horsepower, and that's at the crank with the engine on a bench, if you like. So okay, it's not ideal, it's not real horsepower, but the ratio of horsepower from to manufacturer is comparable, I believe, because they're all using the same method of comparing or measuring their horsepower. But for some of you guys, that's not good enough. It's got to be rear wheel horsepower, or my videos are rubbish. So it's just like, I'm just looking at the feedback I'm getting on my videos, and one of the measures I do I always read your comments and take on board what you have to say. And I also look at if someone makes a comment and I think, okay, that's interesting, like, you should only use rear wheel horsepower and not crank horsepower. I also look to see what other comments people reply to that in relation to that. And if I see that people disagree with them, well, that gives me a measure of where to go. But if I see people agree with them, well, then I say, okay, well, they must have a point, or that's the way it's got to be. Or if I see that nobody disagrees with them, then I also take that as, well, you must, not disagree with that, so otherwise you would have made a comment. So it's sort of, and when I see a comment like that, I usually don't see any disagreements, or I'll get a second follow-up comment saying, yeah, I agree with this, it should be this way, whatever. So of late, because of all the rules and regulations that you guys have stipulated, I've stopped doing comparison videos, because if I do comparison videos, then I get complaints about I shouldn't have compared bike A with or bike B, that wasn't fair, or I should only stick to one category of bike when I'm comparing. I can't compare a bike from category A to category B, even if those are the two bikes I would consider for myself to buy if I was looking for that sort of bike. It just seems like an endless list of rules and regulations, and I honestly believe sometimes that maybe some of you viewers actually work for the government. The amount of rules and regulations you have, like the comment will be, your channel would be good if, and so I've sort of been turned off doing comparison videos. And also another one is my little virtual drag strip, where I try and predict how a bike might go in a drag strip. Comments I've seen is that I don't have any right to do that unless I've actually dragged the bike, or do drag bikes in general, and it's just like I sort of think, what's the point? So it's just becomes not worth doing. So I'm sort of been turned off doing comparisons. I've been turned off doing my virtual drag strip. Test riding bikes, the comment I frequently see is that I shouldn't be talking about the bike unless I've test ridden it. Well, I've been trying to get test rides, and the bikes just aren't in the country. And even when, and that's another thing, talking about new bikes that have been released, you don't like that, because I don't have the bike in my hands. Even if I talk about a bike that's coming in 6 months' time or 12 months' time to Australia, although it's been released overseas, I'm not allowed to talk about it until we have it here. So what I would do is, when a new bike's been released, I would make a video on it to talk about it, because you've got to strike while the iron's hot. You've got to get straight onto it and release your video when everybody else is releasing their videos. And if I'm not allowed to talk about it until I can actually put my hands on it, that's another video I can't make. So it's it's very difficult. The real problem is, in the UK, I see that UK channels have it made. They have access to bikes as soon as they're released. The dealers there actually have bikes that you can demo. The manufacturers support YouTubers over there and organise bikes for them, and make sure they got bikes to ride. We get nothing like that in Australia. There's just nothing. If I go to a dealer and ask for a bike, they say, well, we might get that we can get that bike for you if you want to buy it in about 3 months' time, but there's just nothing to test ride. It, you know, every bike they get, they sell. It's gone. So it's really difficult and really challenging. So going forward at the moment, really, all I can see myself doing is videos like this, just riding around and talking about, you know, talking about what's happening and the challenges I'm facing, and go from there. And going forward with YouTube in general, with so many channels, motorcycle channels coming on, it really is going to be lucky dip, hit and miss, which channel becomes more successful and which channel sort of fades away into nothing. And the way I see it, there's nothing I can do to make my channel more successful, because it's not in my hands, it's in YouTube's hands. And if they decide to push my channel more, then I will be more successful. If they decide to hold my channel back a bit, which I've seen that happen myself. Like I did try publishing 6 videos in 1 week or something like that, to see what would happen if my views would go up, and my views didn't. They went up a little bit, but what YouTube did was to just divide those 6 videos up into the same videos I would get in a week. So that doesn't help me by producing a lot of videos. So it's sort of the way I see it, you know, it's in the lap of the gods. I'll be making videos, but I think for this next few months, I'm going to be making videos just like this, where I'm riding around talking about stuff, because that seems to be my only option at the moment. Alright, well, I think I've said about all I want to say about that. If you have watched this video, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye for now.